I love that. We hit that on Wednesday, too. And I love a team being elite on defense and making themselves eliter, okay, if that's a word, which is not. I know.
Rising up the eliter board.
Yo, what's up? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Ahmed Fareed is here as always, and this Chris Simms Unbuttoned is presented by Lowe's. Mm-hmm. Lowe's knows home improvement. How are you, Ahmed?
I'm good.
Butchering the English language, I am, as always. Eliter, okay? I was trying to make something happen there. I don't know exactly what I was trying to make, but I like your little addition to that, to the eliter board off of my Simsism, the eliter house.
That should now be a segment, right? The eliter board. We put people on the eliter board.
Oh,
right?
You're right.
You've got to be elite.
Were elite today, and now you're on the eliter board.
I mean, that segment writes itself.
I think that is pretty good. And I'm sure if we do that, some of the homies will chime in and tell us that's not real English. Yeah. That's not proper pronunciation. Yeah. That's not a real word.
We'll get engagement.
Better engagement, probably better engagement,
through the
honestly.
roof.
Yes, exactly right.
I will say, though, I'll fight back on you that people don't know what you're talking about when you say all these things, your Simsisms.
Yeah.
I think they're all perfectly clear, right? A leader, like we all, it's not proper.
No, it's not proper, but I think it's very clear about what I'm saying.
I get what he's trying to say.
Yes. Don't hold me to it, like making it sound perfectly, pronunciation or I guess to make sense in a sentence.
Not
that's
yet,
not
at
me.
least. Not yet.
But
We're working it. Created something new.
Working it. What's up? What do you got underneath that shirt today? That's like an old school T-shirt. I just want to see. Curling team. Wow.
I think it was a Winter Olympics gift
from the 1800s. The curling team. I like those old school T-shirts with like the shoulders different color.
Get the little.
That's
piping.
Like early 80s, 70s type of T-shirt. That's what that is. Yeah, I had a few of those growing up.
I think I wore this in the third grade probably too. Yeah. Well, good to see you again.
Always.
You were grinding again in the
You're drinking
barn.
your kombucha.
I got the kombucha.
I like that.
So
appreciate it.
Healthy drink here. Not that
what
I
a great immune system you have traveling around the country.
Yeah, I have noted that traveling, it's very difficult, right? It's like you can't pick your meals. You're at the mercy of wherever you are at the time. You're often tired, and so you eat worse there. So I
definitely
think I
got
got 3
people
more weeks
around you that are also tired, that have been with everywhere on the country, the
and everyone's
continent,
like, come on, just have one more drink. Come on, come down and have a drink with us. And you're like, hey, come on, one more. What are you doing? You're tired? Wow, come on. So. Yeah, 3 more weeks of that, and then I get back to super healthy Ahmed.
Okay,
right?
3 more weeks. Yeah, super healthy Ahmed. Back to like energy drinks.
Yeah, just one a day.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Sure.
One a day. All right. So what we do on every Wednesday, you know this by now. It's the Pick Six podcast. We throw an interception, return for a touchdown. We try to come back. Now we got 6 topics. Some that we have come up with, some that you were interested in. So you go and look at film on it.
Yeah.
Some that the homies have come up with. So I like this today. We've got a little combination. You're going to take a look at the Bears. They fired their OC, so that's going to be off the top.
Had to look at it.
Jayden had his first, maybe tough game or
I think it's fair to say first game he didn't look like Johnny Smooth and I can just handle anything at any moment, right? I think
what happened there? But then here's one where we leaned on the homies. We got under talked about players, and this came from like 3 years ago. I think you talked about Jair Alexander. Be like, he might be the most under talked about guy in the NFL, and so it started a segment as we do.
And now he's on the eliter board.
He's on the eliter board.
He's a leader than most corners.
Yeah, he gets talked about. He does a lot of the talking himself too.
He does. That's right.
So we got some offense under talked about guys that the homies have given us, some defense and some that you've come up with. So
we had
that'll be good.
We had a good list of guys, and I not that I can hit on everybody to really give everybody a great scouting report, right? We saw, but I did watch a number of guys. I've watched a number of the guys that were thrown on our social media over the last few weeks, so that I could talk to at least a good amount of them, and I think we'll have some good conversations with some new stars, new young studs coming up in the NFL.
Sure. One guy who was over-talked about, certainly in the draft process, for good reason, he's very talented, was Caleb Williams, and his offensive coordinator is now fired. So we start with number 1. The Bears have moved on from their OC, Shane Waldron. Interim OC now is Thomas Brown, the offensive passing game coordinator.
Yep.
Was the Panthers OC last season, apparently.
Right.
So he comes over. Who knows what we'll see here. But let's start this by going inside the notebook from just a few weeks ago. This was right before the bye.
Yes.
And this is where Chris was looking at the Bears, and you looked at that offense, and this is the first time in a long time you even put a heart there. You kicked off a whole conversation about how you'll never write their THEIR, so that started there. But the crux of it is that you loved what Shane, what the whole offense was doing, what Caleb was doing in that offense.
Yeah.
You thought they were creative. It had some things from the Shanahan system, some movement, pre-snap movement, making things difficult for the defense.
Yes.
And since you wrote that, basically, the moment that you put pen to paper, it has been the complete opposite. Coming out of the bye, their numbers have gotten worse. So I guess What happened?
I don't know. To me, and listen, I didn't come on here or think about this on Monday going, oh, we're going to dissect the Bears. We've dissected the Bears a lot and Caleb Williams, but he is the number one pick of the draft. It is the Chicago Bears. They were a team that was on an upward trajectory last year and even this year before the bye, where we're going, damn, the NFC North, is it one of the best divisions? Is it the best division? All 4 teams could make the playoffs. We were having those conversations.
Yeah.
And also, like, not like you were just like, oh, we're hopeful. It was like, wow, the defense, we know it's top notch. And the offense has really come around. So I was super excited about it. But what has happened, I don't know. You heard me joking a few minutes ago for the pod. It's like they went for the first 3 weeks were shitty. They readjusted, got creative, played really good football, did a lot of good things on offense, and they were like, went on the bye week and were like, hey, guys, that creative streak we had on offense, ooh, that was just too creative for us. Let's be more simple and try to make these games miserable again. I don't know. The motions are not there. That's gone. All of that is gone. The simplicity of the route combinations that you heard me talk about the first 2 weeks when we watched them, that's all back. So no movement, no motion. When there is motion, it's like it's BS motion. It's like the tight end goes from the left to the right. Oh, no, don't break the brains of the defensive players with that one. It's very predictable again. And they're in a running formation, they run. If they're in a passing formation, they pass. There's just nothing there. And you saw that through the game with the New England Patriots as the game goes on, and we'll dive into it. And again, I too want to say Caleb Williams is not playing his best either. I get that. But he never gets a chance to be in a lot of rhythm or get things easy here the last few weeks either. And some of that's his own doing. But yeah, very frustrating to watch. And as you watch the game, after about the first drive, the New England Patriots are like, oh, forget it. This is simple. We got it. Let's just play man-to-man. There'll be nobody open. We can cover these guys because we have a guy like Christian Gonzalez who can cover DJ Moore. We feel good about that. And then the rest of the group, it's not that scary one-on-one. Plus, the offense is simple, so we feel good in that. And, there's a lot of issues to talk about here.
So it's curious, right? Because there are some teams like the Steelers last year, like, well, they just don't have it. You know, you have an OC who's not creative. It's very rare to see an offense do the things that you liked and then get away from that.
I don't understand how this happened, and I really am intrigued by it. I told you, I want to know, like, what happened to the approach. What happened to Jacksonville? We're in London, and it's motions and people going everywhere and fake screen, throw the ball down the field, fake this, bomb down the field, ripping off big runs, unbelievable shifts in motion before the snap. And then we came back to play the Washington Commanders after their bye week, and we were like, no. Everybody stay still. Everybody do the most basic plays we got. And I don't know what it was there. Did they feel like they were putting too much on Caleb Williams? Did the defensive coordinator think the game was, or Matt Eberflus think it was a little too loosey-goosey and he was afraid where it may go? I don't know. But to me, I can't put my finger on it, and it's odd. It really is, Ahmed.
It's like one of those where you make a pun and you didn't mean to, and everyone laughs, and they're like, oh, that's a good one. And you're like, oh, yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, right.
It's like
right.
That was weeks 4 through 6 for them.
I mean, it's seriously, it is. And yeah, Shane Waldron being gone, and, obviously the burden and it all falls on him. But I just do wonder whether did he run out of tricks and ideas and go back to simplicity himself, or was he told to do that? I don't know. But either way, the rubber has met the road here with the Chicago Bears and what they're doing. And Caleb Williams has certainly regressed over the last few weeks, and that's the biggest problem. Well, again, we're here. We don't want the Bears, like, not Super Bowl team. We know that. But we want the main thing for the Bears and the big picture of their organization is upward trajectory for Caleb Williams. And right now, we have gotten to a spot where it's going downward trajectory, and that's where that has to change, like, immediately.
So before we get to some screenshots of what you saw, let's try to read between the tea leaves here of Matt Eberflus on Monday. So this is before they made the change with Shane Waldron. These are the question was, what changes are under consideration for the Bears offense? Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I mean, just in-game communication, in terms of that, it's got to be better. The adjustments, the tactical adjustments need to be better. With that, on all sides, and everything's on the table, and it's important that we look at everything and we take the time to get that done.
Matt, are you going to make a change at quarterback?
No, Caleb is our starter.
Would you make a change at OC? Yes, we're doing that tomorrow.
Right.
So
he
clearly,
speaks to it a little bit.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think's going on there?
Well, one, they're not getting rid of Caleb Williams, the starter. Again, this is bigger than just a 3-game stretch or 4-game stretch. He's the first pick of the draft. He's got incredible talent and physical ability. This is not an idiot-like kid. This is a kid who's a gym rat, loves football. They're going to ride with it. They're going to take their bumps and bruises right now with him as it goes. They're going to do that. That's so be it, and they should. He showed he can play and play at a high level to where you just don't give up on it because it's a bad 2 weeks and hey, there's issues everywhere. It's the defenses look like shit now. We know the special teams has had issues. There's been game management issues, but here's one part, and we're going to get into a lot here, but when he talked about like the in-game adjustments and stuff like that, I don't know if you saw in my notes, one of the last few things I wrote, it's the OC's job to scare a defense out of too much man coverage. And the Patriots, I'm going to guess in this game, played 75 to 80% man coverage, which is bold with that kind of quarterback and those receivers. But that just tells you, again, how simple it is, and there's not enough tricks or things they can go to go, you can't play me man-to-man like this all the time. We're going to pick you. We're going to rub you. We're going to do little rub plays at the line of scrimmage, screen pick plays at the line of scrimmage. None of that was available in their pass plays. And there it is in the notebook right there. So, some goes on, what we'll talk about, Caleb Williams holding the ball, not maybe hitting the first read at times, and we're going to show some of those plays, right? Not good protection, but also nothing being done to help a lot of this stuff go and get the offense going in the right direction. Like I said, some rhythm to where you can get some momentum, and that's never provided by Shane Waldron of the Bears offense.
So let's
for the players
start
right
there.
now.
And I know it's a little farther down in the rundown, but we just showed your notebook from that passage. So let's show, Pete, if we can, and Kristen back there, the screenshots from the plays that you're looking at, and you're like, I don't even know what they're trying to accomplish here, and no quarterback, no matter the talent level, is going to have success in this.
Yeah, there was plays in the football game, and like I said, the burden's there to go around here, but there was plays in the football game where I just go, what is this play? I've never seen it.
So this is fourth quarter. This is at the point where a coach is like, have we made adjustments? Are we figuring this out?
And right. And here we go. They're in an empty formation, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, and they're going to do they got some sort of screen up to the top, and then also they're running sprint left, like they're going to roll the quarterback left out of the shotgun, and you're going to see all the linemen go that way. But here's my point. The route combination to the 2 receivers he's running is a hitch route, and then the slot guy is running a corner route. This is man-to-man. They're not good routes to throw or have this combination when you're running to your left. Look at all 5 linemen are over there. Thanks, coach. Thanks for giving me these great options and so many answers on this play. Thank you so much. I mean, the protection is shitty because we're trying to sprint out against a very tough look to sprint. And then you got a route that versus man-to-man coverage will never get open. And then I believe he takes the sack right here, right?
Yep.
So here's one where you look at it and go, okay, yes, it's a sack. And a lot of these sacks in this Patriots game happen at the end of the football game. And some of them are Caleb's fault. And you want him to throw this away here, too. You'd like to see that. But at the same time, it's like nobody's had a chance to do anything. And, yeah, he's a rookie. He didn't throw it away. He messed up. He took a sack late in the football game. Okay, big deal. The bigger, broader problem is what the is that play is the problem. Okay? So now here we're going to go into, what is it? What did I write on?
This is
a few plays later?
This will be a 3rd and 5. Yeah, a couple plays later. This is where he rolls right. So that was a roll left.
Yeah.
No
we're
options.
going to move the pocket. We're going to move the pocket. Okay, so now we're going to – one of the things I did like about this play is we saw some motion. Okay, so I like that by Rome Odunze. But here we go again. Now we're going to roll right. And watch this. Let's go to the next clip. He's got 2 – they're going to try to, rub people. This is the one time they're not in man-to-man.
Oh, no.
So you don't want to run this play. This is not the last combination would have been better against this. So this just tells me they waste plays. They're running plays into bad looks. And as you look at it right now, you're going to go, wait, maybe he could throw a laser to DJ Moore right away as he's turning his head, okay? But at the same time, 31, Jones on the Patriots, he's looking and he's coming downhill. So I'm sure he's looking at it going, wait, I throw this and I miss this throw a little bit. It's going to get intercepted. And you can see here, again, at one point when they break, both receivers are 4 yards apart from each other, and one guy is covering both of them. But here's the bottom line. Look at it right here. Here he is. He's rolled out. There was nothing there, and there's 4 guys on 2 people. So he did throw it away this time. So we learned from that. But that's what I'm talking about. There's some plays here that have no chance. And then we'll get into some other plays too where I go, they know the plays and they're so comfortable with the play and the route combination. It's unbelievable. And then some plays where you go, hey, Caleb, you got to throw this damn ball and stop looking for greener pastures or a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
That's a great rundown of the screenshot. So let's get that other one queued up, the one where they know every route here, because you indicated it. That so on the season, the Patriots run man coverage about 39% of the time.
What was it for the
Second
game?
most in the NFL.
Yeah.
So they were up to 47.5.
47.5
in this game.
Right.
How they
I mean, it felt like more than that. But yeah. But
they
either
also
way.
blitzed more than they have. They were third highest this week in blitzes. They're 49% of the time.
So here's an interesting thing about this is they first half started out conservative, and then about a drive or two in, they just said, okay, it's what we thought. It's this bullshit offense again. Let's just play man, because we got good man-to-man corners, and we know where they're going. It's pretty easy to figure out, so that gives us an advantage. And then the second half, their wrinkle was, let's still play man-to-man, but let's blitz them now, because we're so comfortable with what they do on the offensive side. Who the cares? So now let's allow them buy time and make some crazy plays, and let's just totally smother them, and that's what they did. And, it was a bad performance all around. Where do you want to go here?
Because you thought Marcus Jones versus DJ Moore, Jonathan Jones, Keenan Allen, the under-talked-about guy, Christian Gonzalez, very good against Rome Odunze.
Christian Gonzalez matched up, against Odunze and was all over him. I mean, Christian Gonzalez is phenomenal. He's one of the better corners in football already. Marcus Jones, I thought that was interesting that they put him. I would have thought going into the game they would put Gonzalez on DJ Moore more times than not. But they went with Marcus Jones, I think, a little bit because of his start-stop ability and his ability to change directions a little bit. And he is pretty strong for being a smaller guy. So they went with that. And Odunze's a bigger receiver, where so is Gonzalez. So I think they figured, hey, some of these back shoulders they throw him, the fades, the 50-50 balls, that matchup would be good. And DJ Moore's the guy that does slant and goes and double moves and things like that. And Marcus Jones is made for that. And then you put on Jonathan Jones, 31, on Keenan Allen. And yes, they were all over them like white on rice. They were like glue.
And it's like they knew what was coming. So let's go to that one. This is second quarter, 7.5 minutes to go here. This is a 3rd and 11. So obvious passing down.
3rd and 11, zone defense, and the Bears, and what you see too, again, so many stagnant formations, and you see repeat concepts. And this is a concept they run a lot, where they're going to run the 3 receivers to the right. They're going to run Odunze to the corner, right? They're going to run the middle of the 3, Komet, on an out route, and then he comes back in.
Okay.
And then on the outside, Keenan Allen's going to run a slant, kind of rubbing right behind him. And on the backside, how they do it is they go, if you get single safety, we want you to throw to DJ Moore on the skinny post to your left side. Well, what I'm going to show you is that they are so know what play is going to come. They are literally in the spots where everybody wants to run the route. Right? They're already in a spot here on the bottom with DJ Moore in the skinny post where you see, look, the guy's there. He's going, hey, you thought there was no safety in the middle of the field? No, I'm here. We have 3 on 2. You're over here. Okay? Now, look at Odunze, the inside of the 3 receivers upright, right? There's a guy on his outside edge, let alone a guy also outside playing zone, waiting for him to run to the corner route, right?
Yep.
And now you see Cole Komet's running his route versus man coverage, which is going to take a minute because he's really the 3rd option. He's running it out and then going to come back in. But you see Keenan Allen here running the slant. 1, he has a guy driving on him. 2, the middle linebacker you see here is going to start fading that way too, who's in the middle of the field, kind of no man's land right now.
Right.
So he's going to be like, wait, you want to throw that to Keenan Allen? I'm going to knock his head off, or I'm going to pick the ball. And do we have one more screenshot here? So here you go. So here we go. Look at this right now. I mean, it's glue. There's nobody. 2 people on DJ Moore, 2 on Odunze. And you got Keenan Allen, who you can see is like, oh, man, the guy cut me off, and there's a middle-of-the-field defender. And now Cole Komet is maybe open as Caleb Williams is scrambling and maybe can try to throw it to him on the run. He's looking downfield, and let's go to the next screenshot. But there's nothing really there. I mean, all he could have done is maybe thrown a great throw to Cole Komet, who was running across from him in a different way. But, again, just another point, and I saw this throughout the day, where I just want to go – zone, they knew where they were going. Man, they might as well run the routes for the Chicago Bears. I mean, they might as well just run them for them and just go, hey, you're about to run this route, right? Because I know if that guy goes there, you're going to run there, right? Yep. And that's what they're doing. And that's where New England is really good at their they teach man coverage like a lot of teams teach zone, and that's where they're kind of special in that department.
So we've shown a sack. We've shown a couple throwaways, though, too. So that it just indicates that he was sacked 9 times even with those throwaways.
Right.
And so here's one of the times where this is on Caleb.
Yes.
So this is, where are we?
Is this early in the game maybe?
Yep. 2 minutes in, 2nd and 7, second play for Chicago. This is the second play of the game.
Right. And like I said, some of these sacks where guys got beat. Some of them were an exposing of the protection altogether. And then another handful of them were Caleb either not having anybody open and just holding the ball, or Caleb turning down a throw and going, wait, that was the throw. That was the play right there. And now you don't have it because you wanted something else or something sexier, and now you're in trouble. So here's a play, little motion again. They got 2 tight ends. They're going to run a little play action pass. I like when they do this kind of stuff at least. All right. You could see it's man-to-man coverage, right, Ahmed? Everybody's at the line of scrimmage. DBs are in the faces of both Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Single safety in the middle of the defense. Go to the next screenshot, Pete, whenever you're ready. You're going to see he's going to go and play action pass, okay? Now, you see DeAndre Swift open right here, okay? That's not the first read. All right, Pete highlighted him just to show. He's the guy that should be the second guy who should get the ball.
Okay.
But this play here, the first read is read DJ Moore at the top of the screen on the comeback route. Okay? Right now it looks like, hey, yeah, it's good coverage, but the guy's inside of him. DJ Moore's your best player. Let him work. If I saw this with Joey Galloway or Roy Williams in college or Michael Clayton in the NFL, I would have gone, so what, that guy's right there. My guy's going to lean him inside, push him off a little bit with a little chicken wing, right? And he's going to break outside, and I'm going to throw a good laser over there, and it's going to be a completion. I would pray for this coverage. I'd go, oh, please play this against my best receiver. I don't give a shit who it is out there. Me and the best receiver are going to complete this pass.
Yep.
Do we have the next screenshot here to go along with it? So looking now, you can see he's breaking out. You could see he's separating. Marcus Jones is off balance and running upfield. Throw the ball, but he's already come off of him. And to this point, he's already come off of him and gone to this number 3 receiver where I'd go, wait, you were over there and DeAndre Swift was open underneath. Just hit him next. You don't go to Keenan Allen unless DJ Moore's covered, DeAndre Swift's covered. Now let me go to Keenan Allen. And in that, he's too quick to get to Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's not done running his route yet, right? So you could see that, and then Gonzalez is not necessarily beat, and he's going to be all over it. But the point is, and I don't know if we have one more screenshot after this, but either way, I would have loved here you see him getting sacked. And if we had a screenshot in between the last one and him getting sacked, you would see DJ Moore was on the sideline with a guy like Caleb Williams and his arm and any top-quality quarterback. I'd go, that's pitch and catch in the NFL. Throw it. Stop looking for more or wanting to make a bigger play, or did he lose confidence in his ability to hit the bullseye on a consistent basis, which could be the problem too, Ahmed. I don't know, but that's a little concerning, and I see that a little too much with Caleb Williams. And again, that's big picture Caleb Williams. What the concern was with him, if I had one concern, right, coming out in college, was always looking for the big play.
Yeah.
Want to make the big play, the big throw. Let me extend it a little longer. I know that guy was open, but I think if I extend the play longer, I can get something better. You got to learn that in the NFL, when you're greedy, it's usually not a good thing.
And he's always running for his life. I mean, in college, he was running for his life.
Yeah.
He was able to evade a lot of that, but he did get sacked a good
Yeah,
number
a good
of
amount,
times.
right.
But it's just about habits, right?
It's
just like
habits.
if you have a habit of doing that, extending plays, and it paying off more times than not.
Well, it's like we talk about with a good running quarterback, right? It's Lamar had to break the first guy's not open, let me run, right? Because why? It's always worked. Okay, yeah, it's going to work against some teams, blah, 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 but it's not going to work on an every game basis. And now you see him, he goes, wait, the first guy's not open? Oh, what's the second guy? Oh, let me look at the third guy. Oh, now they're around me. Oh, now let me move and try to make something happen. And that's the most dangerous quarterback in football. And that's what you don't want to defend. That's what scares people about Patrick Mahomes, right? That's what makes him that. And, of course, Lamar may be doing it better than anybody right now. But, yes, it's too greedy, looking for the big play, sexy, whatever, and he's got to break that out of his bad habits right now.
So we're about to talk about Jayden Daniels, his first real struggles against his Steelers D and what they did there. to transition,
Yeah.
I mean, I know in the draft process, you were high. Everyone's high on Caleb Williams, what he can do. You've still been high on him this year. You think you might have
I'm not giving
the
up on this
strongest
yet.
arm.
This is rookie stuff. I'm not going to give up,
I know, yeah.
on it yet to where I'm going to go, oh, I was wrong or whatever. But is it been better Jayden Daniels than I expected and lesser Caleb Williams than I expected? Yes, if that's where you're going to go with that.
No, I was going to go even a step further.
Okay,
so
go.
say there's a glitch in some sort of computer system.
Right.
Everyone's back in the draft.
Right.
You get to draft your quarterback right now of the future.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a gap in between these two. Although you were high on Jayden, and you said many times that if there was another draft, he would be the number one guy.
Yeah.
How close is that? I mean, how many teams are taking Caleb? How many teams are taking Jayden?
It was. Well, I mean, more are going to take Jayden now. It was close to begin with. It was. If I talk to NFL people around the league, I would bet you it was 50-50 with like not only my friends but other people that I just talked to from time to time, where like I like Jayden. Jayden was the guy for me, right? So that I think was closer around league circles, right? Teams like the Giants wanted Jayden over Caleb. I think there was a few teams like that they looked at it and went, no, Jayden is the guy we want, right? The Raiders were like that. I think there's a few teams that were, and I understand that. They liked his size. They liked his ability to run the football. And I bet you some coaches were scared of Caleb, going, I'm scared he'll color outside the lines every now and then, right? I think that's the issue there. But it's impressive with Jayden Daniels. And what are you asking me? Like, you want to know flat? Like, would I change my pick right now?
No. Chris Simms. Like, if you're put in this situation, and obviously it's all dependent on what you have around and all this stuff. But I mean, how close would it be for you if you had to pick right now your guy?
Yeah, it'd be real close. I mean, it would be. I'm not. I try to, when I look at these things, look big picture. Yeah. And I don't necessarily want to know the results of the first 6 or 7 weeks of their young careers, right? And all of that. But no, I'm not getting off of what I've seen from Caleb, his high end stuff, for me to not think he can't accomplish or get where I think he could get before the draft, right?
Yep.
And maybe Jayden Daniels has exceeded me in that place where I go, he does throw the ball better than I thought, or he does throw all routes really good, right? One of my questions with him was like, it's either a go route or like just an out route. That's all they did. And there was some plays over the middle where times where you go, man, hang in there, throw that ball, do that type of stuff. That bothered me a little bit, but he has done none of that in the NFL, and he's been the opposite of Caleb.
Yeah.
Oh, this is here. It's 4 yards. Oh, maybe I could throw the 50-yard throw here. I'll take the 4 yards. The 50-yard one will come later. It'll be even more open. I'm not going to be greedy right now. Boom. 2nd and 4. Boom. First down. Right? Caleb's like, there's the out route, but I really want to throw the 50-yard post.
Sure.
And that's just, you're going to create bad problems.
Well, the cool thing about the NFL is if you believe in Caleb or Jayden, you're going to be right like 7 times, and then the other guy's going to be right 7 times because it's going to go back and forth, and some guys are going to be playing better and worse. But Jayden's playing pretty well right now, even though he did just have his toughest game as a pro so far against that Steelers defense. So let's get to number 2 in our pick 6 right now. This was Jayden Daniels' worst game of his rookie season. You think so, right? 50% completion percentage. Yards per pass attempt. We're just under 6 here. Only 3 rushing attempts for 5 yards. That's maybe the most puzzling thing about the whole week.
No plays with his legs. None. And that's where we'll get into it a little bit. I mean, the Steelers defense is good. We know that. They have the type of guys on the edge to go, wait, Jayden Daniels, you're not going to run around us all day. We're damn good. Plus, they're smart. They've played guys like Lamar Jackson, right, before. They know how to stay in rush lanes and go, wait, we can't let this guy run around. So that was really one of the reasons I picked them. I literally said, well, they got great experience with this kind of guy, right? Lamar Jackson is Superman. Jayden Daniels is trying to be like that and has some qualities like that. But, yes, between good coverage, good pass pressure, and to me, a really detailed, awesome third down plan of what do they wanted to do, whether to confuse Jayden Daniels and his reads or send 5-man pressures so he can't run anywhere, and then have one of those guys kind of just hovering around the line for when he breaks outside the pocket, boom, here's one of our fast linebackers. You're not going to turn the corner and make something happen or buy more time and throw a ball down the field.
Well, great segue. They say show, don't tell. So if you're listening to the audio version only, we're going to try to tell as well.
Right.
But we will show here for our Peacock and YouTube audience. So let's get into it. Let's first quarter, about midway through here. This is a 3rd and 3. This is a 5-man rush.
Yes.
They're trying to contain Jayden Daniels
Right,
here.
and you know, we've had fun with the 5-man rush before where we just I don't love it all the time.
For what reason?
Well, I don't love it, especially when you're playing a pocket passing quarterback where the offense is surgical and I go, wait, this quarterback's going to pick up this 5th man, right? And this system is good. It's tried and true. And now you have one less guy in coverage, and they're going to pick it apart all day long. Like, to me, that is not the way to go against a lot of the surgical drop back passing quarterbacks. But they felt like they could play some man-to-man, so they weren't going to be able to get the ball out quickly and throw into zones. And then the second thing is you get that 5-man rush. Yes, they were very disciplined and that they didn't get out of their lanes to where he could just step up and hit some big lane and run. And like I said, what you'll see more times, and I think the play we're just going to show, they made a concerted effort almost to go – like force him a certain way to where their spy was so he could be right on them right away to where then he could make magic happen.
So
like
we got a couple plays. It might be both of these plays, but let's start with the 5-man rush in the midway through the first quarter. This is the 3rd and 3. So this one is 7:29 to go in the first quarter.
3rd and 3, and you just see it's a 4-down front. First off, the one thing we have to talk about is the front 7 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And especially when you're in base defense, damn is it good. When you go TJ Watt, you know, Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, Ogunjobi, I'm going to mess up his name, 99.
Oh, Larry O?
Larry O, exactly right. Alex Highsmith, Elandon Roberts, Patrick Queen. The front 7, that is one thing I just want to say. Washington made some mistakes, in my opinion, going 2 tight end sets in some moments in the football game where I'm going, man, Pittsburgh wants this. They love this. You want to play phone booth football with Pittsburgh and this group? Good luck trying to get anywhere with that group right there.
Ogunjobi did play well.
Excuse me. Thank you.
I
don't know why I was like, it's such a common name that we say a lot. I was totally Ogunjobi, but either way, so here we go. Let's show it. There's a 4-man pressure, okay, and they're going to bring Patrick Queen, but not really bring him. Patrick Queen is on the hash on the 40-yard line. You see him, Ahmed?
Yeah.
So he's sitting there like he's going to come. And he's going to come, but he's not going to fully blitz. He's just going to hover there to, one, grab the attention of one of the offensive linemen so they can't go help, right? And then 2, he's just going to wait for Jayden to break once he doesn't see what he wants out down the field as far as the route combinations in the offense. So go ahead. So as you see it there, here comes Alex Highsmith around the edge to the left of Jayden. Cam Hayward's pushing the pocket to the left of Jayden. I think it was Keanu Benton right there. He also gets to the left of Jayden. So Jayden right here is going to go, wait, I can't run left, okay? And then there is TJ Watt and also Patrick Queen on the other side. And you can see Patrick Queen's kind of just sitting there, right? He's got the right guard kind of on him, and the back is kind of hitting him too, but they got another backer to cover the back. So here you go. But either way, it's man-to-man, and you can see it's pretty good coverage. He's looking to his one-on-one down here to Terry McLaurin, and Joey Porter's covering him at this point. So he doesn't like it, and he's going to readjust and go, wait, I got to get out of the pocket because the pocket is collapsing. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are coming here. Okay? And he sees it, doesn't have anything, boom, gets sacked. He tries to move up and split I believe Cam Hayward and Alex Highsmith, and there was just no gap. So my point was, like, there was nowhere to run. Nobody was flying by him. They mushed the pocket, and he went, oh, wait, nobody's open. Let me see if I can squeeze through this gap. No, you don't squeeze through this gap. Okay, let's show the next screenshot of, like, him trying to the next play we showed of him scrambling.
End of the first quarter here, right? Similar thing.
Similar thing. It's very similar. It's just a different formation by the offense, so we don't get quite the same matchup, right? But you see there that it's Patrick Queen coming up to the line of scrimmage right over that right guard once again, okay? So he's there. The other Peyton Wilson, number 41, is going to cover the back. It's like a man-to-man coverage again here. But either way, let's start it. Okay, it's a 4-man rush. Patrick Queen's going to kind of come down the same way. Okay, and you can see we got man-to-man coverage. They got people and robbers in the middle of the field, so anything crossing's not going to be there. They're on it. Now, you see the 4-man rush. It's similar to what we just showed. Highsmith and Hayward are to Jayden Daniels' left, and they're rushing, but they're pushing the pocket, and their eyes are on him for when he breaks. If he tries to go like he did last time, split between them, something like that. And now Patrick Queen, just like last time, he's sitting there, but not really blitzing, just coming up to grab a body. That great job. Pete's got him outlined there. So now Jayden Daniels doesn't see anything, and then let's go to the next one, Pete. He starts to break the pocket, and this is where you go, they got a plan for Jayden Daniels. And you see Patrick Queen, who didn't really blitz, and he never got engaged with an offensive lineman because he didn't let that happen. He sat there and waited, and he went, oh, here he goes. He's going to run outside the pocket. I'm going to meet him outside over there and loop over there too. And Jayden Daniels has nothing and then has to throw the ball away.
So it is a combination for the Steelers, right? Because I would imagine that not every team would want to do this, contain five-man rush, have a guy like Patrick Queen who can sit there, take on a block, and then not a lot of teams are going to necessarily do
have
this
the
as
personnel,
successfully.
and exactly
correct?
right. You're not going to have one. They wanted 5 one-on-ones because they got 5 beasts up front. They're going to go, we're going to win one of them, right? But when you watch the game, and I think this will catch on. Teams are going to start to go.
Try.
They're going to try. And can they do it to that extent? But I do think there is something there, right, where you'll see this going forward. I felt like the main concern for the Steelers watching the game was not letting Jayden run. That was the biggest thing for them in the football game. You know, they mixed in some other coverage and did something like that. And, yeah, can other defenses implement that? Yes. Can they do it to that quality? I don't know. You're going to have some special edge guys, and you got to have a pretty fast middle linebacker that can run down a quarterback like Jayden Daniels. But they executed it at a very high level and really played well on defense. If you really look at it, Washington only drove the ball once the whole game. I mean, that's kind of what it felt like. There was yeah, maybe I'll give them 2. I'd probably say the 15-play, 94-yard drive. And then the drive to start the third quarter where they hit the big slant to Terry McLaurin took a big chunk. But you look at that was the only 2 drives, and I would sit here and tell you that the 15-play, 94 drive, they were a little bit fortunate with some bad PI and some bad penalties too.
Should we show you've given some love to some of those front 7 guys. Should we show what you call the play of the day?
Yeah.
2-minute mark.
Let's do
fourth
it.
quarter.
Right.
1st and 10.
Yeah.
Jayden trying to be a hero, bring his team back. So we can do it once again. This is Keanu Benton.
1st and 10.
Low.
1st and 10. A play, like there's always a play or two in every game where you go, man, that was a big play that nobody will talk about. Like you're never going to hear about it. Right, and as we're sitting here right now, this is 28-27, right? It's 28-27,
yes,
I
correct.
believe.
Yep.
They're going to try to get down here in field goal position. They're running a quarterback draw, and they got it. It's man-to-man, okay? The D tackles are kind of wide. They got the blocking just how they want it. And watch this. You're going to see here Jayden Daniels now go to the next one, Pete. He's going to he drops back, acts like he's going to throw. Look at all the green grass in between the numbers up top and the hash mark. Like, they've got the 2 middle linebackers and Wilson and Queen blocked. There's nobody there. It's going to be Jayden Daniels one-on-one with Minkah Fitzpatrick 25 yards down the football field. Jeez. He might score a touchdown. If not, he's easily in field goal position, and game is over, basically. Keanu Benton, what an unbelievable tackle, saves the day and makes it 2nd and 9 instead of being 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line going in. If we have an end zone shot of this too, Pete, because the end zone shot too shows you really, I mean, again, look at this tackle and look at the room he has. And this is like he just grabbed him with his right arm, and he slowed him down, and he's just putting his left arm on here now to hog tie him and finally bring him to the ground. But that was a big moment of the football game.
They used a little bit of blitz to their effect. There's a couple of stats that Pete threw in here. I don't know if you've spoken to them already a little bit. The Steelers versus the 2 and 3 tight end set here for the Commanders.
Right.
So this season the Steelers have been very good at that. They're 4th in yards allowed per play when the other team goes kind of bigger. That's what
I was saying a minute. So they played 2 or 3 tight end sets, and when I named off all those guys, I said, good luck against that group. They want you to do that.
So the numbers bear that out.
Okay,
and Washington on the day was under 2 yards per play on the 16 where they used 2 or 3 tight end sets.
That jumped out to me. The game, at least, they had a little little success when they spread the field out. When you don't want to play phone booth football with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Washington's not quite up to par or one of the best teams in the league yet as far as phone booth football is concerned. They're better than I would have ever expected, but yeah, like I said, with those big guys they got, those linebackers as athletic they are, Pittsburgh loves to play that kind of defense right there.
Raven Wizard is trying to do some advanced scouting here now.
Right.
He goes for the Steelers versus Baltimore game. He's like, how do you feel Pittsburgh will try to defend the Ravens next week? They usually run a lot of man and man blitz, similar to KC. Lamar is beating that this year more than ever before. This game is going to tell me a lot about the Ravens.
Yeah, it will. I do think, this is where the Ravens are different. There's weapons. I don't think they're going to be able to play as much man-to-man on Baltimore as they did Washington. Because, one, the receivers are a little different, right? And this is a quarterback, too, where, again, I know they'll have a plan and be pretty good at him, but he's still going to get outside the pocket and make a few things happen every now and then. Plus, there's some creativity in that Baltimore offense, more than I would say was in that Washington offense. They'll play man, but always to division rivals. There's something to that. Teams spend time on their division rivals in the offseason. Teams, of course, you play them twice a year. You do have a feel of like, wait, this team played man. I don't want to do that because I know they might do this or this. And I have a pretty good feel when they're in this formation. I'm going to play this zone and teach my guys kind of read this and read that, and we'll be okay. So it could be a totally different look. But the big point into what our question is there is Pittsburgh can play man-to-man well enough that in big moments in the football game, you can trust them, and they can definitely dial it up. Where there was years past where I'd go, don't do that, Pittsburgh. You guys can't do that.
All right, so let's take a look at the numbers a little bit, dive deeper in this with a DraftKings Sportsbook. We got the Steelers and Commanders. Crucial games this weekend. We just talked about the Steelers taking on the Ravens. Steelers are a 3-point underdog in that game. Washington, a 3.5-point underdog against Philadelphia. Here's where they sit right now. Here's where the odd makers believe the Steelers and the Commanders, both odds-on favorites to make the playoffs here. Heavy favorites here to make the playoffs, both those teams.
Which they should be.
And winning the division, they're still not. Those aren't bad odds.
No.
They're not the favorite. The Eagles are the favorite in the NFC East, and the Ravens are the favorite in the Steelers division there, the North. Winning the conference is still a bit of a long shot for them, but these are two teams that are squarely playoff teams at this point.
They're squarely playoff teams. Pittsburgh, like we talked about on Sunday, it's going to be the first year where I'm going to go, please, I'm actually excited for them to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I think they are truly capable of winning a game, maybe even two.
TJ Watt, stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly right. As long as they stay healthy that way. And the same with Washington. I mean, Washington's played really good, complete, sound football almost every game other than week 1 against Tampa. So, you could make an argument they're playing higher level, cleaner football than the Philadelphia Eagles. They're just not as talented as the Eagles, period. And, I don't expect them to win the division, and I guess I don't expect the Steelers to win the division either.
But if you had to pick one of those two teams, who's most likely?
Can I pull up the schedule real quick?
Pull up the teams.
The schedule is important to me here.
Oh, we can do that.
So Pittsburgh, they got the Browns twice.
We got the best team in the business.
Bengals twice, Kansas City, Ravens, and the Eagles. Okay, wow. So they got some little schedule here as far as Pittsburgh's concerned. Okay, let me look at Washington. Washington has the Eagles still twice. They have the Cowboys twice, the Tennessee Titans, and the Atlanta Falcons. Whew. Yeah, I would feel more comfortable, I guess, about picking Washington. I think I would.
Okay,
I would. But I think that would be predicated on. I would think Philadelphia has to slip up a little bit.
When have they ever done that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. But I look at Pittsburgh and go, man, that's a tough schedule. It's hard for me to sit here and think that they're just going to run the table or something like that. I feel like there's maybe three losses there coming down the stretch, at least for Pittsburgh Steelers as we go on.
I don't know. Mike Tomlin finds a way.
Yeah.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the app. Use promo code UNBUTTONED when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. One more thing.
I could tell. You're scanning your notes while I'm reading all this stuff. You're like, there's something I'm missing here.
I feel like this is important, and I feel like the Steelers and the Chiefs do this more than anybody. When they play teams that can throw the ball quick, they get their hands up in the passing lanes and bat balls down. That's a huge part. Steelers did that a few times in the game. I always see Kansas City do that too. That's what really well-coached defensive football teams do. The second thing is, like we talk about all the time, the Chiefs do this a lot too. We've talked about it. They take away all the bullshit plays, right? The wide receiver screens, the read options, all the QB run plays. They couldn't do any of that in this football game. That's what's made them dangerous is, surgical, run the ball, surgical. Oh, here's a wide receiver screen to Terry McLaurin. Oh, he got 12, 15 more yards. Run the ball, high percentage pass. Oh, screen pass to Eckler. Oh, he broke the big play for 30 yards. None of that. No quarterback design runs, no scrambles, all of that. They're really good there. That was phenomenal. And I have to talk about one of the worst non-calls in football.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm seeing this everywhere in the NFL right now, and it's becoming a Chris Simms pet peeve, okay, where late in the football game, the NFL, it's like they put a memo out to the referees, just don't call penalties. If the offense holds, so what? We want an exciting finish. I don't know what it is to say.
Well, in the NFL's defense, there's a number of fans that just I don't want the refs to decide a game, right? And so they've gotten pressure from, I would think people who consume their product be like, don't make this a ref show at the end of a game.
I get that, but at the same point, we're just going to abandon all rules and bylaws of the NFL just because of that? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Not all, just pass interference and holding.
Well, exactly, pretty much. I mean, that's what it seems to be. But yeah, let's show this play if we can real quick.
This is 6 minutes to go in the game.
Yep.
Washington with the ball. You see Jayden Daniels now, a yard from pulling off Orlovsky right there. I mean, he's getting close to the end line there.
It was 2nd and 8, 6:08 left in the football game. I mean, first off, TJ Watt, as you can see right here, is being held already. Okay? He's already being held. And the picture doesn't even do it justice. He's beat the guy around the edge. The guy has him with his right arm and his left arm. And you could see TJ Watt slowly starting to turn sideways right here because he's being held. Now he's being manslaughtered. Now it's both arms totally extended, totally has turned him around. He's done He's done a 180.
Yeah, the 9 does not normally look like that, too. That should be an indication something's happening.
I mean, this is a sack, safety, and he's still being held. Now the ball's being thrown. He's still holding. He's doing a curl now, like you do at the weight room. Like, let me get my biceps bigger with TJ Watt. The referees are 3 inches from both of these guys. There's 2 referees. Yeah. There's a referee on the bottom left. There's a referee on the bottom right, just outside of the screen. Like, that's inexcusable. And what makes it more inexcusable is there's a wide open receiver down the football field that he misses by a half a foot, or this might be a touchdown.
Wow.
I mean, so to me, this is where the NFL is just flirting with disaster. Because I don't know, because they want points, because they want good finishes, because they want to protect the quarterback, because they don't want to hear about people, don't want to see flags at the end of the game. I mean, man, would you have heard it from me and everybody else if this ended up being a touchdown and a play that should be a safety?
Were you watching that in real time and saw that?
Yeah, that play? Did. Yeah. I did. So when I saw it on film, I was like, oh, my gosh, I remember this. I can't believe they didn't call that. Yeah. But they're going to cause more problems by not calling that and that being a big play and a pass, and then having everybody on social media going, look at the manslaughter that happened at right tackle here, and they didn't call it.
Well, because offensive linemen see that as well, and they go, all right, end of the game, why not? Why not just hold a little bit more?
It's
right? If they're not going to call it.
Yes, it's becoming like that, and I don't like that end of the game, we're going to let holding go blatant. Or like the end of the Ravens-Bengals Thursday night game, we're just going to let pass interference go blatant on the biggest play of the game. Yeah. Just, hey, if you want to hold them and bear hug them, go ahead. Then you need to tell the offense, hey, pick plays and just offensive pass interference is legal too. I don't like that the end of the game is becoming a different referee structure.
Only way to stop TJ Watt sometime is to hold him like that in the end zone, wherever you got to do it. We talk about TJ Watt a lot and Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams. We love those guys, right? That's why we talk about them. But how about the players that are under-talked about?
Under-talked about players.
Well, you know what? They'll be talked about.
They'll be talked about.
Not over-talked about. We'll just talk about them.
Robin Hood to the rescue.
Coming up next. Every week, DraftKings sets up the free $1,000 Florio and Simms Pick'em pool. Pick every game against the spread for a chance at a $1,000 prize pool every week.
Download the DraftKings app, click on the pools tab, and enter the Florio and Simms free $1,000 Pick'em pools to make your picks.
Do it now. Welcome back to Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement, and Chris Simms knows talking about football players.
I do.
We do it all the time.
Yes, we do.
But there are some times that we don't talk about a football player, and we should talk about
You're
that
right.
football player.
You're right.
So you sent out this tweet, or X as they say now. Okay, homie's going to try hitting some of the under-talked about players in Wednesday's pod, and so it was a call to
Is that
action.
what you say? I sent out an X? I don't know. What is it? What do you say now?
That's why I got
weird.
off it. I was like,
Yeah?
I don't know the terminology
I
anymore.
don't,
I'm old.
I sent
X.
an X out.
Yeah.
And I received an X back.
Yeah, well, that's not good. I feel like we shouldn't do that. So in that, so we'll get to some of the offensive and defensive players that the homies threw out there that they want to give some love to.
Yeah,
but instead of 2 stats and a lie this week, I was
Right.
like, let's do Jeopardy. Let's do
Okay.
an under-talked
Jeopardy.
about Jeopardy. So I got 3 questions
Shit,
for you.
here
3
we go.
players, or I guess 3 answers.
Yeah.
And I need the question.
Okay.
Here, so I'll see if you can get these guys. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Number 1.
Yep.
This NFC South edge has the 4th best pass rush win rate in the NFL. Just so you know, the first is Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep. Okay, let me hear him.
Myles Garrett's number 2.
Right.
Trey Hendrickson's number 3.
Okay.
And this NFC South edge is number 4.
I'm going to say Yaya Diaby.
There it is. 21%. This is according to PFF.
Yeah.
Winning at that rate is good for 4th in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast, and he was a part of that group. Last year of those second, third round, Byron Young with the Rams, Hall from the Seattle Seahawks were the physical freaks, and Diaby is shown to be, I think, the best one so far.
Yeah, he tested through the roof. I think there was something
he's
that he did.
Greek
where-
God. Yeah, he's got a muscle on every part of his body. That's what he whatever he got tested at, he's good at it. Let me tell you.
And you do talk about him. You've given him love
Yes,
here
yeah,
this
he's a
season, but I
player.
think he's probably under-talked about as the 4th.
Would agree.
Best
Would
guy
agree.
at beating offensive linemen.
Right.
On the field.
All right.
This AFC center has given up the lowest pressure rate of any offensive lineman in the NFL.
Well, I want to go Creed Humphrey. That was what I'm thinking, like right off the bat. But
So
hold on,
he-
I'm not right here.
No.
So let me just give another guess because I'm already wrong. I already know. So I'll take my L.
no, you said you wanted to, but you never said it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You said you wanted to,
I
but you never
wanted
said it.
to, but I never said it. What about
He's number 2, by the way.
he
Creed
is number
Humphrey.
2?
So you're
All
close.
right.
You're
So
very
who's
close.
one? Is it the guy in Baltimore? It's not him, is
Under-talked
it?
about. No, see, this is why this is good.
I like this.
The center for the Miami Dolphins, Aaron Brewer.
Whoa! Wow.
He is only giving up a pressure on 1.2% of his pass blocking snaps.
Impressive. Brewer's a phenomenal athlete. Like maybe Pete can look it up. I think Brewer's like, he's like 280 pounds, I believe.
He was undrafted
Right.
in 2020 out of Texas Tech.
Went to the Tennessee Titans, right?
Spent the first 4 years in Tennessee, now with Miami, and
Right.
having maybe his best year
Yeah,
yet.
and played some guard there. I mean, he's been playing really since early on in his career. He's one of those guys, that's made a name for himself, and he is very good at pass rush. There we go, 6'1", 295.
So, yeah.
And I believe at one point of his career, he was probably even a little lighter than that. But, he is, and I'm not shocked by that. I wish if I gave me more time
Oh,
and I pulled up the
geez.
teams, I think I would have got to him.
Well, pull up the teams.
I know,
then
well,
here.
they're up, but I was choking under the pressure.
Other names in the top 10, Creed Humphrey, Tyler Linderbaum, Tristan
Yeah,
Wirfs, Lane
right.
Johnson, Joe Tooney. So
Okay.
this is a legit stat
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
right? You don't give up pressures, you're probably pretty good. Aaron
Right.
Brewer, the best of them all
Man,
so far this year.
Two of them are Chiefs. That just tells you how good they are in
right.
the interior.
All right, we've talked about him now. Now we
Yeah.
got this one. This AFC West defensive lineman has the most quarterback knockdowns of any player in the NFL.
Wow.
Who could this be?
AFC West D lineman, most knockdowns.
Yep, most
This is tough here because there is a lot of good D linemen in the AFC West. Whew. It's nobody on the Raiders. I feel good about that. I don't think Max has done that this year. I don't think it's anybody in the Chiefs either. I'm going to go Khalil Mack.
It is not Khalil Mack.
No.
It is Zach Allen.
It is
with
Zach
15.
Allen? Oh,
Yep.
my gosh.
6th-year guy, first 4 years in
I
Arizona.
can't believe it. And we're about to talk about him. And honestly, I thought maybe you were going to go there. I
Yeah.
just didn't. You
I mean,
used
Pete's
reverse psychology on
Pete's
me
a good
there.
producer, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes
yeah.
perfect sense.
Yes.
So let's get right into
to go, Pete.
number 4 on our pick 6 here, the under-talked about defenders that
Damn.
the homies have thrown out there. And we will start, good job, Pete, with Zach Allen. So Matthew Hansen, X'd to you.
Damn.
Zach Allen, under-talked about because he gets absolutely no love, statistically one of the best defensive players in the league, and oh yeah, he doesn't take any time off either. So he has 602 defensive snaps this season, most among NFL interior defensive linemen.
Yeah. Poor man's J.J. Watt. That's what Zach Allen is, right? He's not J.J. Watt. I mean, we know that. He's a Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt. He's one of the greatest defensive players we've ever seen.
Right.
But Zach Allen is along those lines as far as what he does for a defense. Got incredible versatility. He could play D tackle. Probably most likely you'd run him to be like a 3-4 like defense end, 2-gap people, a strong side DN, because he's got some flaws as far as pure D tackle is concerned. But he's a disruptor. He's a play up type of guy, Ahmed, right? This is where a little bit too, like I think grading sites are not going to know how to grade him exactly.
So I was just going to bring that up.
Right.
PFF grades him 35th out of 57 interior linemen.
Right. I mean, I think if you ask somebody in Denver, they'd go, that's so ridiculous and stupid. It's ridiculous. It's like don't ever pay attention to the site again.
Yeah.
But that's where it's hard, and I'm not trying to disrespect PFF, but he's one at times.
They're gonna take that as disrespect.
Well, I know, but I don't mean it like that. Because it's a hard thing to grade.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about sometimes in college film. When you're lined up over here in the C gap and they say, hey, we want you to shoot down to the A gap and then stop in the middle of the gap with like 300-pounders on your back. Like, no problem. Okay. They're a disruptive movement type of defense, chaos defense. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be plays where you get me moving to the right as fast as I can and you call the right play and the outside linebacker, the lineman to my left is now pushing me as I'm aggressively going to the right. I'm not going to be able to stop where I need to stop, right? And those to me are not fair grades at sometimes. He doesn't take on double teams all that well, but he does split double teams, split through gaps, does all of that. And the biggest thing, we're in a passing league, and he's one of the best interior pass rushers in football when it comes to that. One-on-one, get out of here. Like, you got no chance, right? And then one-on-one in the run game, he's pretty good. It's just with double teams, when he's at a true D-tackle position and he's got a big center and a guard or a guard and a tackle who double team him, that's not where he's going to hold his ground and make a mosh pit of things, right? He's not a run stopper. That's what I wrote in my notes. He's a chaos creator. And that's where guys like him are really tough for any grading company to grade. I mean, it really is. So I don't mean to say that just about them.
Yeah.
But when he has to play traditional D tackle versus big run teams, that's when he's going to struggle a little bit. He's a little bit of a tweener. But when you get him in passing situations, more of a space game, and I really think he's more of an edge, strong side DN than a true D tackle. That's where he should be. That's when he's at his best and all of that. But damn, he's a good football player.
I'm glad we're doing this too because I think it was just last week that we said the Denver Broncos filled with a defense of guys that we don't really know about yet, but we will know about soon.
Right.
And so we're trying to do
this
that.
guy's good, and he's really good, and they're paying him a lot of money for that reason to do exactly what he's doing for their football team right now.
And you also wanted to give some love to someone else on that defense, Nick Bonito. He was your number 5 edge 2 years ago in the draft.
Nick Bonito, we had some people that wanted us to give a look at him, and Nick Bonito is he's the reason they traded Barrett Browning in that. They don't need him. Him and Cooper off the edge are a really good tandem. And Nick Bonito is one of the more naturally gifted edge pass rushers in football. He's got great bend, and for a guy that's only 240 pounds, he's strong as hell. And then again, with a defense that's chaos, right? That's what they are. Blitz off the edge. Oh, stand up, blitz through the C gap this time. Ooh, act like you're going to blitz at the C gap, drop into coverage. He can do all that stuff. He's one of the better edge defenders in football. Like, you're going to hear about Nick Bonito next year and go, wow, they paid him a lot of money. Like, I didn't realize he was that good. And I'm here to tell you, he's that good, and he is going to get a lot of money soon.
The D Weezy.
Yeah.
XU.
Oh, the D Weezy.
After yesterday, Leo Chanel. So he was your number 3 linebacker 2 years ago in the draft, behind Devin Lloyd, behind Quay Walker. Oh, and here is the he sent it with that's a GIF. Violence and physicality, man, is what Leo said. We have talked about him a little bit. He's bordering on appropriately talked about after the blocked field goal or special teams. But more specifically, what he does defensively, you took a closer look at, too.
Well, I think we got to start with what that D Weezy said.
What?
Or no, maybe he didn't say. He just said after yesterday. But why doesn't he play more, right?
Oh,
and I think Pete wrote that, actually.
Pete wrote that. That's what Pete said. Pete's like, why doesn't he play more?
And that would be right where I'd start. I mean, to me, Leo Chanel is a talent enough to where you go, he never comes off the field on any down. Wow. I don't understand. Now, they have Nick Bolton, who's awesome, and they have Drew Tranquil, who's older and more experienced, who plays a lot too. And they are a team that mixes and matches personnel and does stuff like that. But I wonder if it's just a little bit of like, oh, yeah, he's the young guy, and Drew Tranquil's a little bit better of the quarterback of the defense and all that. But either way, when he is on the field, he jumps out Leo Chenal. And I would definitely, if there was one thing I would say to the Chiefs coaching staff, I'd go, yeah, why doesn't he play more? I mean, first off, he's got a rare ability in the NFL of a guy that can play outside linebacker and middle linebacker. I mean, he plays outside linebacker a good amount when you break him down. Takes on tackles, takes on tight ends. They'll play 4-3 defense. He'll play 4-3 defense end on third downs. So that speaks to the freak he is, right? He's phenomenal in coverage. He's phenomenal as an open field tackler. He has the kind of, you know me, like reckless physicality that I love. He has no regard for his body. His play strength is incredible. I mean, he takes on blocks and gets off blocks awesome, like at a really high level. Sets the edge. He's got good instincts. He knows what the offense is trying to do. Reading recognition's off the charts. And like I said, it's a rare guy that he can play end of the line of scrimmage linebacker or middle linebacker. It almost feels like they're bringing him along slowly. They know they got some good guys there, and they just don't want him to pop off so much that they have to pay him some huge contract like a year from now or something.
Conspiracy theory.
I mean, I don't even know what to say, but I just think as the year goes on, we'll see him on the field more and more. He's too damn good.
It is weird because it is trending in the opposite direction, actually. He's had a couple of games where he's been around 50% of defensive snaps, 60%, and then the last 2 weeks, 33% and 34%.
Yeah, I got no answer for that
because he looks really good.
Well, because like when they play base defense, he's in there and he's that guy. It's just when they go to nickel, it's like you don't know if he's going to be in or out, and depending on what they do. But yes, it's one that I'm a little dumbfounded by because I just go, wow, he can cover, he can run, he's good against the run, all of that. Maybe he messes up a little bit now and then, and he's not in the trust tree. That's all I can kind of come to and being a young player still.
Patrick Queen, you did talk about earlier. He was tasked with keeping Jayden Daniels under wraps.
Yeah, well, the thing with him is just like ball hawking middle linebacker, right? Sideline to sideline, awesome. Coverage, he's good. Open field, he's good. He's physical tackler. I think he's getting used to playing in this defense more and more. It's a little different than the Baltimore defense. This is another defense that I would go, no, it's chaos. They're not necessarily always into like, hey, you got to take on this guy and hold your ground and do that. And I think a little bit early in the year, he was doing that too much because that was like the Baltimore way. He's not good at taking on blocks. He can get swallowed up. That's by far the worst thing about his game. And if you watch early in the football season, you're going to go, damn, he had some plays and some drives where like offensive guards get on him and he just can't get off and he's getting dominated. He's gotten better at that. I think he's also learned that in Pittsburgh, they don't care sometimes if you run around the guy and make the tackle that way. You know, those are the linebackers they've always had. Ryan Shazier, right? They want middle linebackers who are fast in the middle of that defense that are just like kamikaze. They're not looking to like, oh, you got to hold the B gap down and keep your outside shoulder. That's not what they want. But, you know, that is his only flaw. And like I said, he's gotten better, and he is made to play against Lamar and Jayden Daniels and those type of guys. And when they play five-man fronts in Pittsburgh, right, and he doesn't get blockers on him, he's going to make the tackle because he is like is explosive as a running back, getting the hole and doing that. And like I said, I think he's still kind of getting used to that defense there in Pittsburgh, but he's been better as of late.
His former team, the Baltimore Ravens, speaking about them, Co-Jam 13, Travis Jones for the Ravens. The pass rush is night and day when he is on the field.
Because he's other than Justin Madubuike, I would say Travis Jones is the second best pass rusher on their football team. No, it's not the other edge rushers or any of that. Travis Jones, who, again, I know was a guy that was in our top 5 D tackles a few years ago out of Connecticut.
3 in 2022 behind Jordan Davis, behind Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player, man. And this is really, I'm not going to lie, I've watched Baltimore's defense a lot this year. I've not focused on him until yesterday. And, like, kind of blown away, actually. I'm not going to lie. Like, definitely one of the best all-around D tackles in the NFL.
Wow.
Phenomenal in the run game. Like, awesome at everything in the run game. Like, can be disruptive, like go through the gap and just cause chaos like we've talked about a lot here. Can play 2-gap, like, oh, we're going to play 3-4. We need you to hold up the lineman and then disengage according to where the ball goes. Double teams, he's great. Getting off blocks, he's great. And he's the Ravens' best run defender, and he is their second best pass rusher.
Wow.
Right? Like, to me, like a pleasant surprise what a force he's become as a pass rusher, can dominate one-on-one, and also for being 320 pounds, like very athletic with stunts and twists and stuff like that. Really impressed with my big guy there.
They just keep producing those guys
They
in
are
Baltimore,
pillaging
don't they?
the biggest, baddest motherfuckers on the planet. Once again, the Baltimore Ravens.
But yeah, we did and there was questions in the competition at UConn and how they were going to use him, and he's been great. Cooper DeJean, QB Eagles 1990. Need a breakdown on White Lightning Cooper DeJean and why he's performing way above your draft evaluation. Now hold on here, David Saba. Hold on. So here, this is what you can always say about Cooper DeJean. You had him number 1 at his position in college.
Yes.
Now, you just thought his position was safety,
right,
and not corner,
right.
But the way the Eagles are using him,
right,
are suiting his talents
right.
very well in the NFL.
I was reluctant and wasn't sure how to be used in the NFL, and I did not think him playing outside corner was the way to go.
Sure.
Right? Which he's not playing outside corner. That's not what he's doing. They found the perfect role for him. I mean, this is what he is. We kind of said this on Sunday or maybe last week. He's Brian Branchish, right? It's like, yeah, he's a safety and he's like a nickel at the same time because he's awesome tackler and he can cover, but there's certain guys you're not going to want him covering against. That's the biggest thing. But, I mean, do-it-all type DB, nickel corner safety, got great feel and instincts, right? I mean, he knows, like, what they're trying to do. Oh, I need to shoot my gun here and go make the tackle, whatever. You know, understands what the offense is trying to do. Physically strong, gets off blocks, incredible tackler, like ruins wide receiver screens and bubble screens out in the edge. That's where he's really good. You know, and then, you know, he's better as an outside corner in coverage. He doesn't do it a lot. But the coverage is good. And they're just like, if you're straightaway speed or strong guy, he's good. If you're kind of twitchy, change of direction guy, that's where he is not the best. They're like flipping his hips and doing stuff like that. And I think this is where you're going to continue to see him throughout his career. I don't think he's ever going to be an outside corner for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he is going to be that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Brian Branch, safety/nickel, depending on who we're playing against, and that'll be his role, but he is really damn good. His straight speed is impressive. If he gets there and he's around the ball, he's got really good ball skills. And like I talked about, he's physical. He can play physical against the big wide receivers or tight ends. Damn good. Really impressed by DeJean.
Yeah, and his playing time coincides with their recent winning streak because he only played one snap in that last loss to Tampa Bay, and then very next game he's playing 91% of the snaps, and he's been right around that range through the whole winning streak.
They're at their best when he's on the field at that nickel's position. Wow. They when they have him at nickel, and then Chauncey Gardner and Blankenship at safety, and then Quentin Mitchell and Slay on the outside. That's a damn good 5 right there.
One more corner to talk about here. Kemindolo says to you, Garrett Williams from the Cardinals. Actually, the Cardinals haven't allowed a touchdown by their opponents in 3 consecutive weeks. Talk about how and who for the Cardinals is the reason for such success.
Yeah, the Cardinals are really well coached on defense. They're creative. They can play man-to-man. They got some young corners and guys that I think are not household names. We know their safeties are damn good too, right? You know, they're doing a little bit with smoke and mirrors right now, but there's not – it's creativity, and they're good at it. Like, they don't mess up a whole lot. Garrett Williams is really good. He's made for the nickel. He really is. He's not real fast. That's his one problem. Like, if he has to get stuck against his fast receiver – he's going to back up 10 yards and go ahead, take the underneath route. But again, like the opposite of Cooper DeJean, if it's kind of a twitchy, like jitterbug type of guy, he is really good at covering those type of guys. He's more quick than fast, right, as we would say in the NFL. Great at short area movements and change of direction. Smart, does his job. You can see he understands what offenses are doing and know how to play that. Like quick throws, screens, like he does all of that really well. As soon as he sees it, he gets there, shoots through it, usually disrupts it. Scrappy with all of that stuff. Outside runs, he's really good at that. Plays physical for a guy that's a little slight as far as being like 180-something pounds. But like not real but plays small when it comes to coverage on big receivers and stuff like that. So if that makes sense. Like, he's not afraid to throw his body around, but he gets pushed around and he plays a little small when it comes to that. And he's just an okay open field tackler, right? Like I said, the biggest problem is he's slow and he knows it, and he has no chance against fast receivers. But as long as he's not in those positions, and like I said, that's where he's made for the slot, the guys who are making quick left turns and quick right turns all the time, that's where he's damn good. He's done a good job. And, yeah, you talk him, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Max Melton, right? They got Dadrian Taylor Demerson. They got some young guys that are coming up the ranks, too, that are going to pop to us as the years come along here.
Yeah, former third-round pick out of my alma mater, Syracuse, just a couple of years ago, has performed pretty well for despite some of the limitations that he has there. Boltanamo Bay has one here.
Okay.
He goes, Dan Henley. I'll keep beating the drum for the leading tackler on a high-performing Chargers defense. Doesn't get the love or attention he deserves. And Pete notes here, come on, Boltanamo Bay. You haven't been listening to the pod enough.
That's right. We talked about Dayon last week.
Beating our chest. He's bordering on over-talked about at this point on the Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast.
He was our number one linebacker coming out in the draft, and we did our breakdown of the Chargers last week, and one of the things I said that people don't realize what's making them so awesome is him in the middle of the defense. Mm-hmm. He is one of the better linebackers in football. Like, undeniable, undebatable, if that's a word.
Yeah.
All right?
Undebatable. Yeah,
we're going
it's undebatable.
But, yes, he is really damn good. And, yeah, when it's him, like I talked about, and Derwin James in the middle of that defense and a dime, man, that speed and length, let alone the reckless physicality, he is certainly a big reason why they're one of the best defenses in football.
All right, so those are the under-talked-about guys on defense. We've gone a little long here. We just like these guys so much to talk about them. So I don't even know what we're going to do after this commercial break. So there's the drama. There's the tease. What in the world's about to happen? We'll all find out together after this. Welcome back to Chris Simms Unbuttoned, presented by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. So we are punting the under-talked-about offensive players, and Chris, you condone that.
Yeah.
You like punting on fourth down. It's fine. You can do that. So we're going to do that next week to give you a little more time to look at some of the guys that the homies have suggested here, too.
Right.
But we've got breaking news to talk about.
Okay.
So pick six, number 5.
I love it.
Is the breaking news. The Colts have a new starting quarterback, and he was their old starting quarterback who is the new starting quarterback, hopefully, of the future. Anthony Richardson. Shane Steichen said in a press conference that he will be the starter once again. Your instant reaction to Anthony Richardson back in the saddle for the Colts.
Wow, and what changed, right? Now, I'm not saying this isn't the wrong decision, or I'm not saying this isn't the right decision, I should say, right? I think that ultimately this is probably the best thing for everybody going forward. Where I am surprised, and a little bit of what I told you on Sunday night and what I do have knowledge through people in the NFL, is that, yes, the Anthony Richardson benching was more than just him taking himself out in a football game against the Houston Texans. That was a microcosm of the bigger problem, and that they weren't happy with preparation and being the total professional, detailed guy you want at the quarterback position, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a little bit of a part of this is like, yeah, you're being benched, and, we want to see you improve some of these things before we make you the starter once again. Right. And I think that's, again, too, and I think as an organization or a coaching staff and everybody, that's why you heard Shane Steichen after the game this week go, no, Joe Flacco's our starter, because I think they have made a determination of, like, we're going to wait a little bit before we throw Anthony Richardson back down.
Right.
So obviously my first gut instinct is that big-time conversations went down yesterday on Tuesday, Players' Day off, where owner, GM, head coach, they got in and they said, wait, okay, we know he's got to be better at these type of things, and let's continue to work on this, but let's not cut off our nose to spite our face here. We've lost 3 in a row. We've lost 2 in a row with Joe Flacco. The offense, you could argue, didn't look very good, or maybe not even as good with Anthony Richardson in it. Why not just go back to him and let him play like we talked about with Caleb Williams, and let him take his lumps and go through the bumps and bruises and play that way? And again, where did we think the Colts were going this year anyways? Right? They gave Joe the chance because, hey, it wasn't good, and they went, wait, we're still in the playoff race, and I think now they're going, wait, we're 4-6. like it's going to be a miracle if we go to the playoffs. We have to basically run the table, or we can only lose a game or two. But big picture wise, they need to get Anthony Richardson back on the football field, and they'll work with him on some of that professional detailed stuff as we go along here.
Yeah, and he was asked in the press conference if he had conversations with the team owner and Jim Irsay or the GM and Chris Ballard. He goes, I talked to Jim, I talked to Chris, but ultimately the decision was mine. So was my decision. So I mean, which makes sense, right? I mean,
so they talked about it, and he went
and
back to it, and he's going, wait, if I'm trying to build something here for the future and all that, it's not going to be around Joe Flacco. I tried to salvage the season a little bit for 2 weeks there. Flacco didn't do great against the Vikings or the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Right? So let's throw out the guy who we've invested in and we think is the future, and let's see if we can work with him. It's not about this year. It's only about this year just to get him better for next year. Next year's the year where hopefully if you're Indianapolis, you can cash the chips in a little bit to go, ooh, we spent a little money on this free agent guy on the offense to make the offense more explosive. Ooh, another guy on defense. And our quarterback's ready now, and we're dangerous. And they're not there yet this year. So play with your guy, and we talked about it. The number one issue with Anthony Richardson was lack of reps, lack of playing time, and he needs to play more for a myriad of reasons, and I do think this is the right decision.
And it is tough if you're telling your still young quarterback, hey, sit, watch that guy out there and what he does, and it's like pick, interception,
right,
dumb with the ball.
Well,
you're like, don't watch him anymore. Stop watching him.
I think there's part of that, and I think more of it is watch what he does in between Sundays.
Sure.
That's the big thing. And I think that's what was rubbing people the wrong way in the Colts organization. You know, again, I don't know all the details, but it sounds like maybe late to meetings, late to rehab, stuff like that was going on just a little too much. And again, this is not a bad guy. Not at all, anything like that, but just not being the leader and the quarterback that he needs to be. And sometimes when you're young, you don't even know that.
Sure.
You got to have people show you that way a little bit, and hopefully he's learning that from Joe Flacco.
Know how important it is, the standard that you need to set.
Yes.
He's learning that as we go. So that is happening for the Colts. They take on the Jets this week, who have problems of their own, by the way. Number 6 in the pick 6. Finally, we will end with the Buzz Watch here. So the Buzz Watch gets its own spot in the pick 6. So as you know, we give the buzz before the buzz happens.
Of course.
And last week, I was like, one of the buzziest stories is going to be the Eagles destroy the Cowboys, and then it kills the Cowboys. Now the Eagles are back.
You're hot on the buzz-o-meter.
Well, we also had other ones too. I said the Bengals beating
those. I should be like you and bring those up,
Yeah.
like you do with me sometimes. The bad evaluation.
I try to be even both ways to show that we can laugh at ourselves.
Right.
The Bengals beating the Ravens, which would have been buzzworthy.
What? That would have been 100%.
Face mask.
And so would the Jets
end.
beating the Cardinals.
So that didn't happen. That didn't even get close to happening, because I really did think that was a possibility. Jets come back, got the Texans win.
Now
you beat the Cardinals, and it's like, oh, can Aaron Rodgers really pull this off? That was very wrong.
No.
That's not going to happen.
No, that was disappointing.
So here we go. We got the 3. So these aren't predictions really,
Right.
but it's just like if these happen, we'll all be talking about it. So number 3 for us, and this game is the game of the week, and so people may be shocked that it's number 3. Bills beat the Chiefs, I think would be number 3, because ultimately, yes, while the Bills are knocking the Chiefs off the top here, I think the buzz will be tempered because it's still the regular season.
100.
And it's not the playoffs.
That's the point. You're right. It's still going to be big buzz because it's like, whoa, maybe the Bills are for real this year.
Yeah.
Oh, they are 9-2. Oh, they did knock off the Chiefs for their first loss of the football season. So I hear you with the buzz there all the way. But yeah, they're not going to get total credit, right, until they beat them in the playoffs. Right. I mean, I'm right. I mean, Josh Allen's regular season record against Mahomes, I think he's got a winning record.
I think so.
Right? Which is very rare, and one of the few people that can say that. But, of course, the playoffs are what are being judged by, and I don't think anyone's going to get off Josh Allen's back and the Chiefs in that conversation until they knock them off in that scenario.
So number 2 I have is the Commanders-Eagles game, and I think it's number 2 no matter what happens in this game. So if the Commanders win, it's a rookie quarterback bounce-back game, taking control of the division once again. That's buzzworthy.
It definitely is.
And if the Eagles win, they've officially solidified their spot as the number 2 team in the NFC, and they've kind of bounced back from that disastrous finish last year.
I think you're right. I don't think you can go wrong with the buzz either way there. I think maybe the buzzier one would be the Commanders beating them and going, wow, now they're winning the NFC East.
More
and
unexpected,
they beat the Eagles and all that. But I'm there with you. And if the Eagles win, you're right in the fact that I think it's just going to solidify more people in their mind to go, no, the Eagles are definitely one of the 3 or 4 best teams in football. Mm-hmm. There's no question in my mind as we sit here right now, Detroit's 1, Eagles 2 in the NFC, period. And you're going to have to prove me otherwise. I think Washington will keep it, somewhat close, but I don't expect them to beat the Eagles. I don't.
But number one, I think, is that duel between the Steelers and Ravens. And if the Steelers beat the Ravens and Russell outduels Lamar, now we have a real argument about who is going to win that division and who's upper echelon in the AFC.
I think you're spot on here. That would be huge, huge news. I feel like, and as you've heard me say, people have anointed the Ravens a little quicker than they should have. I mean, they're winning some games by the skin of their teeth. They should have lost last week. I mean, they were outplayed, really, in my opinion, by the Cincinnati Bengals. But they got it done. But, yeah, I also think people are like, wait, are Steelers really 7-2 good or not good? If they win this, it's going to be like, whoa, they're real. And I also think it's going to bring up the questions of like where you're talking about. People are going to question the Ravens a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just how good are they going to be able to survive with this defense and do all that? Right. I think all of that's going to get kickstarted again. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, we got some great matchups this weekend, starting on Thursday night.
I can always tell. Yeah, I can always tell when I do the Buzz Watch if I'm like struggling. I got to go through the schedule a couple of times.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that this week.
No, those games jumped out, and they have legit storylines either way. Really.
Yeah, so. Definitely do. I'm pumped for it. A good job on the Buzz this week. I think you got a chance to be 3-0. Really?
Yeah. Again, they're not predictions unless I get them all right.
Yeah, well, it's that Bills-Chiefs game's a coin toss. I still don't know who I'm going to pick in that one. Yeah. I don't. Commanders-Eagles, I'm leaning Eagles for sure. Steelers-Ravens, I'm leaning Ravens. But, it's one where I'm going to sit down tonight and write notes and kind of listen to myself talk a little bit before I know who I'm going to pick. I've been a little more impressed with the Steelers as of late than I expected to be. All right, everybody. That's it, right? You got anything more?
That's it.
You good? You didn't drink very much kombucha here.
No, I got it. I'm down here to the bottom.
You called it Japanese last time. It's Korean.
No.
Get it straight, okay? How disrespectful you are.
I don't think actually kombucha is Korean. No, we called kimchi Japanese.
Oh, you're an idiot. You called it Japanese.
Korean.
It's Korean. You're an idiot. What are you, a dummy? You can't believe you. It's kimchi.
Yeah. Yes. And I've been to South Korea, and I had kimchi in South Korea.
Right. Have you been to North Korea?
I've not ventured there.
Hey, fumbles get lost in there and never come back.
The plane, I was tracking the plane, when we were flying over there, and it definitely does not go over North Korea. Every plane goes around and down.
I would hope so, or you might be shot down. So I would hope you go around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're trying not to get shot down, and we want to have more podcasts. So I'm going to stop talking right now.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. You know where to find me tomorrow. Picks podcast with Forio. You come tune in. That'll be out in the Thursday afternoon at some point. And you know where to find us the rest of the week. We're going to continue to dive into football. You know that. And hopefully dive into some more players that deserve a little more recognition next week. Everybody enjoy Thursday Night Football. Enjoy the weekend of games. They're going to be awesome. We'll see you late Sunday night to recap Week 11 in the NFL. Ahmed, you the man, as always, for driving the ship. Peace out, everybody. Clap it up.
Clap it up.
Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.